So what exactly is narcissism? The term gets used a lot, but what does it actually mean? So it really means having an inflated sense of self, being self-important. There is a clinical level disorder called NPD, Narcissistic Personality Disorder. I'm only going to spend a tiny bit of time on that because we're going to concentrate mostly on narcissism as a personality trait among the normal population. So it's at a lower level, but more pervasive and thus more problematic. So what is the difference between self-esteem and narcissism? You can kind of think about it this way. Self-esteem is confidence. Narcissism is overconfidence. Do narcissists have low self-esteem or high self-esteem? Are they actually insecure deep down inside? It's one of the fascinating questions that's been asked for centuries, really. And we finally have some good answers on this. Well, if people fill out a self-esteem measure and a narcissism measure, the same type of people tend to score high on both. But maybe the narcissists are just saying that. Maybe deep down inside, they actually feel insecure and hate themselves. That's a theory that's been around for a while. We have great methods now in social psychology to look at whether this is true. Measures of implicit self-esteem. So you can match, looking at reaction time, words like me and I with words like bad and good. Well, when you do that, it turns out, deep down inside, narcissists think that they're awesome. They have high self-esteem even when it's measured in this subtle way. But there is a really key difference between people who are high in self-esteem and those who are high in both self-esteem and narcissism, which is about caring and compassion, which you just heard a lot about. That's the key difference, because both types of people, yeah, they want to achieve things in their life, but the high self-esteem folks also place a lot of importance on their relationships. And the people high in narcissism are pretty willing to say, yeah, caring, compassion, not really my thing, not my bag. So here's just a couple of things. You know, narcissism is such a multifaceted personality trait. It's one of the things that makes it fascinating. So it relates to a lot of areas of people's lives. So the essential part is that thing. You have what it is, and then what the narcissist would say, I am uniquely awesome. It includes entitlement, thinking that you deserve special treatment. I can do anything. There's the relationships with others, and this is where it becomes more problematic, that I'll do whatever it takes to get ahead, and look at me for doing it. And that doesn't come out of insecurity. That comes out of, I truly am awesome. Why aren't you looking at me? Why am I not getting the attention of the world that I deserve? It's that type of idea. And then in interacting with others, there's the lack of empathy and aggression, especially after being insulted. And materialism is another correlate. Have you ever seen one of those bumper stickers, usually on a sports car belonging to a middle-aged balding man, that says, whoever dies with the most toys wins? Well, that's the idea. So here's a couple of images from our culture that show how narcissism shows up in so many different places. So Twitter can be great, but in some cases, do we really need to know every single thought you have, every second you have it? Then we have reality television. We have the lovely Kardashian sisters here, because reality television stars have actually proven this with data, are high in narcissism. Are we shocked by this? No. But these are the shows that are very popular. They're supposed to show a slice of real life, and what they actually do is make narcissism seem normal and even laudable, and that this is the way to live your life. Here we have one of the people who started this trend in reality TV, Paris Hilton, wearing a shirt with Paris Hilton on it. Yeah. After she got out of jail, she said she was going to become a humanitarian. That worked out well. We have Dr. 90210 here with breast implants. So plastic surgery rates have gone through the roof in the last 10 years. Then this glimmering thing here, that is a bling brand pacifier. So you bring your child home from the hospital, and she has to have her bling right away, and of course it has a crown on it, because she's a princess, even though, of course, she is not. Because unless you're William and Kate, your children are not royalty. Get over it. That's a McMansion right there. The recession, which we're still digging our way out of in the United States, how did it begin? It began with the mortgage meltdown of people buying houses they couldn't afford, the bankers who wrote those loans, the investment bankers who said, oh, those mortgage-backed securities, they'll be fine. Housing never goes down. In one word, if you wanted to sum up what happened there, overconfidence would be a pretty good word. Now, I don't think everybody participating in this was narcissistic per se, but it was a system built on overconfidence. And the problem is reality always wins in the end, and sadly, it did. Then for the last, we have fights on YouTube. Well, high school students, teenagers have always fought. The new twist now is to put it on YouTube and get attention for your aggression. Of course, law enforcement loves this because then you have filmed your crime. Speaking of overconfidence. Then there's my favorite example of narcissism in our current culture, which is that it is now possible to hire fake paparazzi to follow you around when you go out at night. I am not making this up. Here's one of the sites that'll do it. They say they'll ask questions, vie for coverage, shout your name, everything you have seen on TV and want to experience for yourself. At the end of the night, you can go home with the pictures on the cover of a fake celebrity magazine. Is your mom's birthday coming up? Yeah? Or better yet, your grandma, who will have no idea why somebody's taking pictures of her, will probably fall down and break her hip. So don't do it. Don't do it. Just in case you're wondering if I just plucked out the songs that fit the pattern and that there were songs in previous eras that also fit the pattern, sure, there were, but maybe not on average. So I teamed up with some colleagues to look at this in the song lyrics. We fed them into this computer program that codes for words, the top 10 songs since 1980, and we looked at the occurrence of these words. So this is just on average, and we centered in between. So I, me, and mine, it's all about me, sure enough, has gone way up in song lyrics. What about that more inclusive language, we and us? Nope. That's gone down. Social words about, say, love and caring and so on. Not a good picture. And then antisocial words about aggression or swear words or hurting people, that has gone up. So, and you can eyeball this when you just look at the lyrics. The songs from the early 80s, boy, were they cheesy, and boy, were they repetitive, but they were all about love and caring and connection. And then near the end, what you get instead is, say, Carrie Underwood talking about how she's going to break the windshield of her former boyfriend, so he'll think the next time before he cheats. You also get Justin Timberlake, who is single-handedly going to bring sexy back. So what effect has this had on individuals? Done a bunch of studies on this. I'm going to show you just a few. This one is about 25,000. I have it's university students. And these are people who filled out the Narcissistic Personality Inventory at some point between 1982 and 2009. So this is gathered from other researchers who used college students for their own purposes in research studies, and they filled out this inventory. So this was perfect for me at the time to do this project. I was about 7 months pregnant and couldn't do a whole lot but sit at my desk. So gathering all of these research reports, going through thousands of articles, was a perfect fit. So here's a few items from this scale so you can get an idea for how it measures narcissism. There's 40 items on the whole scale. I'm just going to show you 5 as some sampling to see how it works. If I ruled the world, it would be a better place. I love that one because there's always a few people who smile and laugh, and the rest of the room is going, why is that funny? Of course it would be. I can live my life any way I want to. I think I am a special person. I like to be the center of attention. I have a natural talent for influencing people, so there's some manipulativeness in the trait as well. Okay, so here's on average how these scores have changed among university students in the US since the 80s. So there's a pretty clear linear increase over time. Now, how big is that change? That's a very fair question. On average, it's not huge, it's moderate in statistical terms, but I think a great way to look at it is to ask what percentage answered the majority of the items in the narcissistic direction. Well, in the early 80s, that was about 17%, and by 2009, it was 30%. So I think that's a very interesting number, because what it means is even at the later time, you're not getting the majority of people who are that narcissistic, even at that younger age. You're getting about 1 out of 3. But it's still about twice as many as you got earlier. And that makes sense because, and it is consistent with people's experience, because those are the ones who end up in your office. Whether you're a faculty or a manager or a parent for that matter, those are the people who are going to cause the problems for you. So it makes it look even more noticeable, even though they're still the minority.